Okay, so we've got our next one. I'm going to walk you through this one and write out the proof. And then the one after this, I'm going to walk you through it and then let you guys try to write out the proof on your own. Okay, you ready for that? We've got LSK, that's this angle right here, is congruent to USK, that's this angle right here. Okay. And then we've got LS and US are congruent. Oops, that's not the right part. Not LK, LS and US. All right, so I've marked down everything my given gave me. What else is here for this picture? SK is congruent to SK by reflexive, right? Drawing a little note to myself. Okay. So then this triangle is congruent to the other triangle by what? Yes. Okay. All right. Let's write this one together. Remember the next one I'm going to want you to write out on your own. We've got statements. We've got reasons. What goes first? My first given, right? I'm hearing people read it or say given. Angle LSK is congruent to angle USK by given. Okay? Does that say something's congruent to something? So we can move on, right? What's step 2? LS is congruent to US, and that's by what? Given. Does that say something's congruent to something? So we can move on, right? Okay. Let's go to number 3. What is true about this picture? No, there's no midpoint for this one. KS is congruent to KS, and that would be by what? That would be by the reflexive property. Okay? All right. Do I have 3 things that are congruent to 3 things? Yes. So we can move on to say triangle KSL is congruent to triangle KSU by what again? What? Side angle side. Please write this down. Please make sure you write this down. I would draw the picture as well. Please write this down. I'm going to wait for a few minutes because I know some of you were drawing the picture while I was going over it. Some of you were going over it, don't have the picture yet. I just want to make sure everybody has that before we go. The next problem, again, I am just going to go over the picture with you of what you can do, the plan, and then you guys are going to write out the statements and reasons on your own. We ready? Okay, here's our next one. Take your time to make sure you've got this picture down. MK is an altitude of triangle YMZ, and K is the midpoint of YZ. Those are both your givens. And you're trying to prove that triangle YKM is congruent to ZK. So draw that picture first. Make sure you write down what you're given and what you're trying to prove. And then we'll go through marking up the picture. And then you're going to write on your own, and we'll go check to see if you're answering the same one. Write down given MK is an altitude of YMZ, and triangle YMZ. And K is the midpoint of YZ. Proof the triangles are congruent to each other. What does an altitude do for us? How does that help us? Altitude makes 90-degree angles. So we can mark those. We've got 90-degree angles. What does the midpoint mean? It's in the what? Middle. So if I'm in the middle, both sides are what to each other? Congruent, right? So if K is in the middle of YZ, both of these are congruent. Okay. I've marked down my givens. Is there anything else that the picture's telling me? MK is congruent to MK by reflexive, right? Remember, I'm writing that little note to myself on the side so that I remember when I'm writing my statements and reasons. So why are these two, do I have three things that are congruent to three things? So why are these two triangles congruent to each other? By what? Side equals side. Okay, I'm going to give you a minute. I want you to write out the whole proof. Make a little T-chart where statements are on one side and reasons are on the other. I really recommend trying this. You're going to have to do this for your quiz on Tuesday. I'm going to give you just a minute. Mm-hmm. I'm going to give you just another minute, guys, and then I'm going to go over the answers. Okay. So, you've got statements and reasons, right? Statements on one side, reasons on the other. Okay, we should have, I know it's really small, sorry. We should have MK is an altitude, given. Then we should have angle YKM and angle KZKM are right angles. Definition of an altitude. Then we should have angle YKM is congruent to angle ZKM. Definition of right angles. That step number 3 is the one everybody forgets. Okay? And then K is the midpoint of YZ, given. And then YK is congruent to ZK by definition of a midpoint. And then MK is congruent to MK by reflexive. So triangle, is congruent to triangle ZK. YKM is congruent to triangle ZKM by side angle side. So I know it's small. Does anybody want me to repeat it again slower? Yeah, okay. You should have MK is an altitude given. MK is an altitude given. Everybody should be able to write down the givens, right? Okay. Then angle YKM, angle YKM, and angle ZKM. Angle ZKM are right angles. Definition of knots too. Anna, can you open that? Thank you. Then we've got angle YKM is congruent to angle ZKM by definition of right angles. YKM is congruent to ZKM by definition of right angles. Then we've got K is the midpoint of YZ given. K is the midpoint of YZ given. And then we have YK is congruent to ZK, definition of a midpoint. YK is congruent to ZK by definition of midpoint. And then we have MK is congruent to MK by reflexive. MK is congruent to MK by reflexive. And finally, the triangles are congruent to each other by side angle side. Side angle side. Okay, you ready? The next one you're going to do completely on your own. You're going to have one more that you do completely on your own. Okay, here we go. You're given JK is congruent to SK. JK is congruent to SK. Angle JKF is congruent to SKM. JKF is congruent to SKM. And FK, side FK is congruent to KM. SK is congruent to KM. And you want to prove that triangles, so be careful of this one, triangles JKF is congruent to triangle SKM. JKF is congruent to SKM. Just giving you a few minutes. Make sure you copy down the picture so you can draw on the picture. We ready? Do you need another minute? Or are you ready? Not ready? Okay. Need another second? Okay, let's try this. We've marked JK and SK are congruent to each other, correct? Okay. We've marked angle JKF, so that's this one right here, and SKM are congruent to each other, correct? Okay. We have marked FK and KM are congruent to each other, correct? Okay. So, do we need anything else? We've got it. So we can just write it down. We've got JK is congruent to SK by given. We've got angle JKL is congruent to angle LKM by given. We've got FK is congruent to KM by given. And we've got triangle JKF is congruent to triangle SKM by side, angle, side. So we didn't have to do anything for this one except write down the givens. Okay? So this should be able to help you with your homework, which is just more proofs.